Hey everybody, happy new year. And today what I'm going to be talking about is goals and more importantly, how to help your teenager set goals. And for a lot of people starting off the new year, specifically students who I have for leaving cert and junior cert as well, we're going to be coming into mock exams soon. And the stress, the anxiety is going to start to go through the roof. And now that we're at the start of the calendar year, this is a great time to get into, what I want to achieve this year or what you want to help your teenager achieve. And I know for a lot of parents out there, it's extremely frustrating because they're not listening to you. You get the eye rolls. And if you mention school, study, exams, and certainly goals, you might you might get that look. So here's what I do when I'm working with young people and specifically teenagers is a big issue for teenagers is not school, it's not study, it's their friends. So, if you go to Eric Erickson and he's a developmental psychologist, he will talk about the different stages of development. And for teenagers, specifically, it's all about identity. And a big part of your identity is who you hang around with. And I tap into that when I'm working with teenagers. I'm all about identity and identity shifting because when a lot of parents come to me, it's to help their teenage son or daughter who is struggling with some aspect of school. And I can teach you how to study. I mean, I can show you all this brilliant stuff, study sprints, memory techniques, how to create an amazing study plan. But fundamentally, what I need to do when I'm working with a teenager is shift their identity. It's not that they don't study, or it's not that, and again, I see this a lot with students who have dyslexia or dyspraxia or ADHD or different neurodiverse students or students who just get very anxious in the school environment. The problem is the identity piece. So what we need to do is shift the identity. So rather than, and again, I see this with students who struggle with study, they might say, well, I'm no good at study, I'm no good at maths. I have to shift their belief system to help them to think, well, how can I become the type of person who's good at maths? How can I become the type of person who's good at studying? And certainly when I'll be sitting down with my students, and this week we've got study boost sessions, next week I'll have them into the new mock exam plan, and this is all part of my coaching program. A big part of what we'll be doing straight from the off is setting goals for this year. And I think I got this from James Clear, and James Clear wrote a fabulous book called Atomic Habits. So in that book, Atomic Habits, I think he talks about process and outcome goals. So an outcome goal is I want, 450 points in the leaving cert. A process goal is, I got to go to school every day between now and June, and I got to sit these tests and exams. And if I get to the library after school and study, an hour or two every evening, then, that's the process of achieving that goal. It's like, I want to run a 10K or a 5K. We got the Couch to 5Ks kicking off soon. Well, the outcome is to run the 5K. The process is getting out and running every day for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. So it's creating a running habit. And everything that I do is underpinned by psychology, specifically self-determination theory, to be exact. What is that all about? Well, it's all about autonomy. So really how I help students to start to achieve in school is when you start to give them back control. So in very simple terms, and I see this, one of the things that I'm big on is the miracle morning, how to get out of bed in the morning. So what I work with students with in my seminars and my coaching program is how to get out of bed in the morning. And the first thing we do is make our bed. Well, that's a process goal. So if I can make my bed every single day between now and next June, what that's doing, that's creating a little bit of a sense of achievement first thing in the morning, fires off a little bit of dopamine. And what I see is, I think I got this from Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habit. These little habits, these micro habits have a bleed effect into the study habits. So if you start to get in the habit of getting out of bed in the morning, making your bed, then you can start to get into the habit of going to the library after school. So this is where we're, literally building this habit muscle. So we link one thing to another. And it was amazing when I introduced this thing called the Miracle Morning 7-8 years ago when I started RAYSE the Game. It became the centerpiece of my program. And a big part of the Miracle Morning is to get your mood right, to get your mood centered first thing in the morning. So the types of goals that we be setting with my students is things like the Miracle Morning, making your bed, getting to class on time. That's a big one. Getting in the door. So for a lot of students, And I see this a lot. There's a lot of resistance about going to school. A lot of students, a lot of young people do not like school for lots of different reasons. And school avoidance has become a huge issue. And I know for a lot of you out there, your son or daughter might only be going in 2 or 3 days a week. I had a student last year, and every single day she was on to her mom, texting her, collect me, bring me home. She was missing 2 or 3 days. And a big part of the goal setting that I worked with that particular student, her first initial is C, was literally just to get her in for the first class, even to get her in for the second class. The goal was just to get her in. And, we gave her the option of whether she wanted to go home after that, but it's just to get in for one class a day. And by the end of our time together, by the end of the school year, she was going in every day. The text to her mom had stopped. And a big part of the work was to actually get her mom to step back, to stop her rescuing her daughter every single time. So it's all interlinked. So what we need to do is to build process goals. So the types of goals we'll be working on is things like getting up in the morning, getting your bed made, getting into school, getting to that first class, staying in school all day. And then what I'm big on is topics. So I'm not big on, I got to study for 3-4 hours a night. I'm focused on topics. So, tonight, can I smash out one hot topic? And a hot topic is a chapter in the book. So that gives you a sense of achievement. And it takes that kind of dauntingness out of, studying for, when young people think of study, they think I've got to go and sit at my desk for 2, 3, 4 hours. No, if you can sit down and smash out a topic, even get a set of flashcards done, it just makes it more doable. And a big part of what I do is to make things a lot smaller and easier. It kind of feeds into acceptance and commitment therapy. So the power of small. So how do I break things down, make them small, and accept them? So the other thing is when you give young people choices. So you might get a lot of arguments about things like the dishwasher. Who's going to clean the dishes after dinner? And a simple solution you can have to that is, instead of arguments about getting the dishes into the dishwashers, is to give them the choice to say, hey, you can fill the dishwasher now, or you can do it before you go to bed. It's your choice when you want to do it. So now you're giving them back a choice. This gives them autonomy, and this then gives them more of an option of a little bit more wiggle room as to whether they're going to complete the task or not. And that's all linked back to this whole concept of self-determination theory. So it's very, very, very powerful. So again, to go back to our goal setting, we can set a target of, I want to smash the junior cert, I want to get distinctions, I want to get 80% in maths, I want to get a H1 in history, I want 560 points. But a big part of what I'll be doing with students is, making my bed, cleaning, getting the dishwasher cleared up after tea. It's about, getting to the gym even for 20 minutes. It's about going for a run. It's about, getting maybe 2 hot topics done a night. Get my homework done straight away after school. Kill your homework fast. Get my homework done on a Friday. And once you start to build these little micro habits, this becomes very, very, very powerful over time. This becomes, then they're building this habit muscle. And this then gets the work done, because fundamentally, when parents come to me, when schools come to me, it's because the work is not being done. And, whatever you say about school, what you really want for your teenager is, and it's not about, and every parent tells me this, is not about the grades, but I do want them to see them put in the effort. And I see this a lot with students. The effort slips over time. So what we're doing is building habits, building work ethic, building effort. And once you start to get that effort, and where does that effort come? Where does motivation comes from? It comes from getting busy. It comes from building positive habits. And that way then you feel good about yourself. And that way you start to build positive self-talk. And this is how we get students to start to achieve. So I hope this helps. So it's all about setting the process goals. That's what we'll be working over next week. There's a little bit of insight into teen psychology. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of a positive blast into the new year. Really looking forward to 2025. We've got some amazing stuff happening. So on that note, it's time to get out of here. Don't forget, day by day, we are raising the